He's Jeff King. I'm Andy Erickson, and this is not another shooting show. We go to Escambia County, Florida, where a Walnut... What?
I said, ooh.
Yeah. A Walnut Hill man is facing serious charges after deputies say he shot himself during an early morning patrol on his family's property. What they found afterward shocked the investigators. And it isn't like they just, they found 1,000 rounds of ammo. 26-year-old Joshua Dean Hardy faces multiple felonies, use of a firearm during a felony, possession of an altered firearm, possession of explosives. A little different. According to the arrest report, Escambia County investigators were led to Hardy after he accidentally shot himself in the leg last Wednesday while walking around the woods of his family's property at 3 a.m. His grandmother told investigators he stepped into a ditch, which caused his AK-47 style rifle to go off. He told investigators or deputies that it was an accident. Hours later, the report revealed a family member told deputies that Hardy tried to shoot them. That's what led the sheriff's office to investigate further, led them to a shed on Hardy's property where the weapon, along with many other items, were discovered. Most of these things are not a big deal, except for the homemade explosive. Oh, wait, he did have over 160 rounds of ammunition. Bring more than that to a fucking club match. Several loaded firearms. Tactical gear. Well, you could have headphones that are tactical. That doesn't mean anything. Armor plates. I guess he had those too. Anyway, so he's facing several charges. Bond set $65,000 with some pretty strict conditions. So, okay. This is just a FYI, everybody. This is going to be a short episode. Both of the episodes this week are going to be short because between Jeff not telling me he was going to be in Florida and board meeting and storms and more storms tonight in my town. We had a derecho go through. It didn't hit Sioux Falls. It hit southeast of here. Really fucked up one small town, my hometown too. And then on top of that, I've been sick as a dog all day. I really want to be in bed right now, but we're going to crank them out for you anyway here. So, I suppose the latest on the P320 stuff, that whole news broke last week after we recorded.
Yep.
It just fell into that gap like the day after we recorded. I believe it came out Monday or Tuesday is when it really blew up. And then Wednesday our episode came out, but we'd already recorded. So we haven't really talked about any of this with the airman in Wyoming that was, he died and they've banned the M18 and any version of the P320 from the Global Strike Command. And then I read that another facet, the something Combat Command, Air Combat Command, has now also ceased using the M17, M18.
Yep.
The San Antonio Police Department, this story was posted last night, which would have been Monday night, updated Tuesday. Until further notice, they're not using it either. San Antonio Police Department. So
that'll be a hell of a lawsuit if it goes through. There's been a few other. Some guy posted a video where people didn't really understand what the video was. He depressed the trigger slightly and then pinned it in place with a screw. And people were like, oh, if you jam a screw up, and it's like, no, it was pinning it in place. And then he manipulated the slide back and forth and it went off. So
is that like the guy with the prime case?
Yep.
And he goes, oh,
yep.
Okay. That guy. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's that
video looked a little.
Yeah. Well, it was better than the one that I think Ben posted, that a guy had a P365, I believe, and he like slightly depressed the trigger and he started shaking it. And when the video ended, his finger was against the back of the trigger. And I was like, he just fucking pulled the trigger while he was shaking the gun.
The trigger, right?
Yeah. I was like, this is not the evidence you think that it is.
No.
But
I shook it around with my finger on the trigger and it went off. Oh,
right. Whereas the guy who pinned the trigger slightly back and then like moved the slide back and forth and it went off, that one is a little more, okay, this is interesting. But yeah, so they're losing police contracts, they're losing possible military contracts. I believe the Marines are investigating it. They were already investigating it, I think. So that leads me to a question. Can a USPSA match ban a gun?
So this is what's being sent out to the email is getting sent in a lot right now, and there has been a fair amount of internal discussion on the board about the topic. This all happened within a week before a meeting, and so it was not on the agenda for the meeting, so it wasn't a thing that came up. It did come up briefly on the meeting, but it was more so about the how do clubs handle it. Here's basically the short version. Ranges can ban it.
Okay.
So Bob's shooting range can ban the P320. And then if Doug's USPSA club shoots at Bob's shooting range, then Bob's shooting range rules, the range rules matter more. Okay?
Okay.
But if Bob's shooting range has not done that and Doug's USPSA club wants to do it, that would be against the rules as they are currently written and interpreted. Okay?
Good to know.
And it's a long-standing thing. There is a procedure to go about getting that exemption if a club wants it. It used to... I did not know about this. It came up the other night. There was if there's like presidential approval, but we don't have a president anymore, we have a director at large. So imagine the number of policies that are going to have to be written because of that. There was a way to get like a special exemption for that, but basically individual clubs can't do it. So like, for instance, my club, my USPSA club, and my range are the same entity.
Oh, okay.
And like yours is too, is it not?
No, ENPS
is a separate legal entity.
I think.
Are you sure? Or does it come out of the same bank account as ENGC?
I don't believe so. I think they're two separate entities. I'm not 100% sure. I thought they were two separate entities, but now that you're getting into the legalese of it, I've not seen the paperwork, but we are treated as
you're treated differently among the club, but I don't think I'm not a member there, but I'm pretty sure you guys are like us. You're one and the same. But the other club here, they basically rent space from a range. Right. So they are their own entity. So the range would have to do it in order for that to happen. Where that's going to go board-wise, I couldn't begin to guess. Not a clue. But anyway, as of right now, that's where it stands. So, yeah. Patreon.com/Not Another Shooting Show. It's only $3.57 a month. We'll have another episode here coming up later this week. You will get all of that episode. Both of these are abbreviated, but are going to be abbreviated, but not crazy abbreviated, but shorter than our normal shows. NASS on Reddit. That's where lots of the fun stuff happens, including...
Across 300 members.
Yeah, we did. We got past 300. There's a interesting photo was posted today that we'll get to here. MW Activewear, the finest jerseys for your match or any sporting thing that you do. Area 3 registration, it's we're down to 2 months here before Area 3. 62 slots remain. We're getting to the point now where people are like, they're dropping out, and then more people are signing up and dropping out. So the number keeps hovering right around that 62, 63 mark.
Yep.
And Free State, August 30th. I saw stages from the Cops match in Iowa.
Yeah.
That looked fun.
I watched Steven have a bad day.
Yeah. So I was chatting with a friend of mine local guy here the other day. He is a state cop, if you will, and like a DCI agent, and was telling me about how he does a lot of work with ATF, and like he right away just said, like, when people get all spun up about the ATF, like the local ATF agents, they don't give a fuck about any of the political stuff. We're going to come after braces. We're coming after that and the other thing. They literally don't deal with it. They don't care about it. They don't. It's not a thing in their purview. They literally are going after the gun aspects of violent crimes.
Yeah.
And then there's also a support role for...
They're a compliance officer.
There is, but like the number of them, like he's like, none of the people here are like walking up to people's doors and knocking on them going, hey, you bought a gun yesterday. Blah, 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 blah. Do you still have that? They're going after violent criminals, at least here locally. And I was like, yeah, but it's not the same way everywhere. He's like, well, no, but here it's none of the, hey, show me that thing.
Right.
Like knocking on the door and going, did you buy 2 pistols or whatever?
Yeah, they go to gun shops and be like, hey, let's check your books for the last 5 years or whatever.
Well, and there's also, I know that's a pretty regular thing that happens where they...
It's not as regular as you would expect. I've
seen it happen. One time, in all the years I've cared, I was at Gary's gun shop here in Sioux Falls, and this gal that worked for ATF walked in, and she's like, what was the thing? Because there was something they were reporting to her about somebody who shouldn't have done a thing or whatever. And if I recall correctly, I can't remember. But yeah, it was, it was just sort of interesting, him just telling me that, that's all.
Yeah,
that was it.
They're a boogeyman. They've always been this weird boogeyman for the, like, there's only a few thousand agents or something like that, but apparently they're going to storm every gun owner's house, and
the leadership can be sketchballs as hell at times, depending on who's in office, and and part of it is the complexity of trying to interpret the commas in a law written 85 years ago. Well, yeah, but then again, what bugs me is when it's like, oh, this is okay, and then a couple administrations later, nope, not okay.
Right, but that's the beauty of unintended consequences. Is like braces were legitimate products for people with disabilities. Like it made sense when they came out, and then when people were like, oh, well, I can make this into a stock, and basically, they were putting out like I remember buying one where the brace strap was just a piece of like cloth in the back of it. Like it wasn't. It legitimately could not have been a brace, and so they had to be like, okay, well, shit, we tried to be accommodating to you idiots, and now you fucked with it, and now we have to go back on that because you guys have warped what we said, and then millions
did they
had already
warp it,
done
or did they just not define it well enough? Words matter.
Again, if you want to play legalese bullshit, you don't get to be mad when the legalese bullshit gets changed. Like this felt like range lawyer bullshit to me, and everyone knew it was bullshit, but they were trying to be accommodating and be like, okay,
I never looked at a brace. I've never once seen an AR-15 fired the way the brace is intended. Outside of demo videos.
Right, I've seen it demoed by people with like missing parts of their arms and
right,
like from wheelchairs and stuff.
Yeah,
but
like you ever seen one shot strapped around a wrist?
Right, and so
at the range,
the ATF should have disallowed them, and then we'd be sitting here talking about how they're communists that hate the disabled. Would be the conversation that we were having. So, they were never going to win because everyone hates the regulator at all times. Like
regulators,
the amount
mount
of
up.
The amount of construction workers that complain about OSHA is hilarious when you're like, no, they're there so that you don't die. They're like, but they make my job harder. And you're like, no, No, you will die. That's why they're there.
Yes, but also, but there's also some very, this has been a thing in my town because it's grown a lot in the last 20 years. And the number of houses going up. Like, my house is worth like 2.5 times what it was worth when I bought it.
Yeah.
15 years ago, 17 years ago.
Right.
And there's still new houses being built like crazy. And there was actually a story in one of the newer local papers that's actually written by people who live here. They were being OSHA was getting very aggressive about inspecting every single job site. Like, the number of citations for a city the size of Sioux Falls versus a city the size of, say, Minneapolis or whatever, or was it a metro? I can't remember. But they were being aggressive. Now, was there a lot of non-compliance going on? I don't know. And I don't care. But anyway, let's move on. Because guns, can they be a non-political topic, Jeff? That was the next topic you had written in there.
Right. And that was my way of finagling into, because I got in trouble.
What?
The message you sent me about someone didn't like one of the bits that we did.
Oh,
about
yeah.
So basically my conversation around, what does it take to down a horse? Like, I don't know. I know nothing about hunting. And I informed, I believe the Patreon or someone, that I thought about it because I watched cops doing an immigration raid in California where they were rounding up like 6 people and they had 8 cops on horseback and 6 MRAPs and the whole battalion. But like, that's what made me think about it. And I'm a giant fucking nerd. So I read a lot of Napoleonic warfare, and like they have to deal with cavalry charging infantry squares and shit like that. And so it made me literally just be like, this is an interesting conversation, but apparently I wrestled some jimmies, and so. But it also raises the conversation of like, can firearms be a non-political topic if the entire basis of them, at least within the founding documents, made them a political tool?
I think they absolutely can be a non-political topic because we talk about them in non-political ways all the time.
Right.
So, like, for instance, I bought a floating trigger pin for my Shadow 2 because my roll pin, I took it out when I had to switch the mag release over and didn't realize, that was going to screw up the trigger pin forever. And it will walk out forever unless you put an all-new trigger pin in. That would be a very non-political discussion of a pistol. But,
right. And for another element to it is how much content we put out, even in non-firearm related realms. It's very hard to stay non-political over 150 episodes.
Yeah, this is episode 150. How about that?
Right. So I do want to say that, like, some people will not like my opinion. For some people, I might be the only quote unquote liberal that you know, or that you experience on a regular basis. So, you get an insight into the way that, someone very different than your group of people thinks and talks about. But it is very hard to stay non-political around a topic that is, in my opinion, inherently political, let alone like the way it's treated in the modern era. Yeah.
I think they absolutely can be non-political, like I just mentioned, but at the same time, there's lots of shows I listen to that will talk about things or say things that I don't agree with. It's not, I'm not going to stop listening to them. I mean, if somebody hears Jeff say something or me say something and it's like, nope, I'm out. Well, okay. Sorry to see you go. But at the same time, we explore a lot of topics And some, you're not going to like everything we say. I promise you that.
Right.
100%. But Jeff and I are also so different. That's why I think our show is kind of interesting. Because Jeff is weird for a gun owner guy who shoots a lot.
And if you would like to go to the space that does probably agree with you 90% of the time, there's a lot of options for it. Like we had to be different somehow, and there isn't enough USPA members to. I mean, we love all of you USPA members, but there aren't enough of you out there.
Yeah, I haven't shot an USPA match since I was out in Spearfish. By the way, I missed the last two local matches here because I had stuff going on. Or actually, no, the last local one here before this past weekend was when I was out in Spearfish, and then there was one this past Sunday, but I was teaching a class and I couldn't go to that one. And then there's another new kid on the block. Man, these young fuckers. This dude Carson just pulled his cock out and smacked everybody in the face with it on Sunday. And he had a mic and a no shoot on top of it, and still just knocked everybody in the dirt by 8%. I think the next closest was 8%. And I texted the guy that got second to him at 8% behind. And I was like, so did you have any like malfunctions? Because he was like, was it 17 seconds behind him in time?
Okay.
I think. Like over a 5-stage match, that's a lot. And he said, no malfunctions. I just had one foot fault, and he's really fast. he shot good points, wins. But yeah.
Do it, go fast, and going fast will always be the dominant part of the sport because it's points divided by seconds, and so the lower the amount of points, the lower amount of seconds, the higher amount of points. So it will
but
always
half the points and half the time is the same score, as Tom Nelson always likes to say.
Yep. So you do got to put some accuracy behind it, as Steven is finding out. But when you put just enough speed,
he's never going to be on our show ever again.
I know. I don't. At this point, I don't even know that we're friends anymore. I don't know. He doesn't text me, so he's sorry, Steven.
Yeah. So this Carson dude, he shot. What was the percent? 86% of the points. The other guy I was texting with shot 93% of the points. So he shot really good points. But yeah, it wasn't 17 seconds. It was 14 seconds behind. But still, over 5 stages, that's kind of a lot. And one of them is a super short classifier. So yeah, that's these younger dudes that aren't old and fat and slow.
These damn whippersnappers. I'm saying we need a weight at 200 pounds. There's the victim weights and the non-victim weights. Like, we need to be separated.
Well, okay. So you want weight classes?
Yes.
All right.
If we're gonna have all of the division separations we do, well, give me victim weight and non-victim weight.
Oh, speaking of divisions, L10 is going to be active again for classifiers if you want to shoot L10.
Oh, yay! So happy.
Yeah, it's fun, but everybody I've talked to who has said like, "Oh, it's fun." Are you still shooting it? Until I'm out of 40 ammo.
Right.
And basically it depends on how much of that 40 ammo is left is how much they're shooting it. So.
Yep.
But anyway, okay, so you played with a bodyguard, like the new M2.0 bodyguard Smith & Wesson?
Yeah.
That's a 380.
I should see if I can pull that picture before it gets deleted. Did I take the picture? I did take the picture. Yes. It's itty bitty. Like it does not go past my hand. Like it fits 100% in the palm of my hand.
Is it okay? You remember the old bodyguard?
Yes.
Is it big? It's bigger than that, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah, it is bigger than that. Like it's a small Shield 1.0 is how it felt to me.
Okay.
Because I've held a Shield before, and like it wasn't uncomfortable. I didn't shoot it, of course, but it wasn't an uncomfortable gun to hold. The problem for me is my finger's so long that I was basically reaching like the second knuckle of my finger trying to pull the trigger, and so I was actually sort of not getting the trigger dingus thing to activate properly.
Yeah.
So that was a problem for me. But overall, the triggers are good. It's relatively comfortable. It's tiny. It's adorable size.
It's adorable. It's an adorable little gun.
But I wouldn't, if I thought of like 4 female friends that I'd be like, oh, hey, if you're going to buy a gun, buy this one. Like for anyone who's looking for an itty bitty gun, like it's the gun to go for.
Are you saying you would automatically recommend a teeny tiny little 380 for a female?
Yeah.
That's going to be your first choice for them?
I mean,
really?
Most women want to buy a carry gun to start with because
which is not a good idea.
And it's not, but it's what they're going to do. And so I'm just going to give them the information they want.
Oh.
And, so I'm like, yeah. Oh,
you're not going to talk them out of their confirmation bias?
No.
Oh.
Nope.
Okay. I will till the day I die.
You're literally married and you're going to tell me you try to talk a woman out of something?
Yeah, all the time. Doesn't mean I succeed, but I try. Of course. Yeah. No, you don't want to go to sleep now. Damn it. Okay. Speaking of Smith & Wesson, they came out with, well, I just saw it today for the first time, the new Shield X. Have you heard about
I saw
this?
that too. All I saw was the Instagram
video. It was actually a pretty good video.
Yeah, their marketing team's doing very well.
Their social media people are the best of any big gun manufacturer, and it's not close. They're like, it's a Shield Plus with a rail. It looks different. They redid the grip. The grip looks more like the new Bodyguard, honestly, but it's not the same as that. They put a lot more. They kind of redid the slide a little bit. It's an optic ready slide, of course. But the forward cocking serrations are much more pronounced, and they look like they're actually usable now because I have a Shield Plus, and it sort of has front cocking serrations, but not really. They're not really usable. They're more like decorative scallops than anything. And it's got a rail for a little, TLR 7X sub, whatever mini light you want to put on it. But you can put a dot and a light on a little tiny carry gun.
Nice.
So, something I'll never do.
Right.
I don't put lights on carry guns, and I'm not a fan of dots on little carry guns, little dots on little carry guns.
Right.
I'm a fan of big dots on any gun, but little tiny dots on little tiny guns, no. I got irons for that. The other gun that I saw on their website that I was not aware of, I don't know if it's new or not. They're not saying it is, but is the 22X. Had you seen that?
Oh, yeah.
How long has that been around?
I think that one's brand new because I'm on Smith & Wesson's page right now, and they said new M&P 22X pistol.
Oh, it does say new. It's just not. It's not at the top of the page like the Shield X is.
Yeah, because they released like 10 things in July. It was kind of their shtick, apparently. And so this was one of them because this actually came up. The gun range I was at when I was playing with the Bodyguard, they had the Smith & Wesson 5.7 on the wall, and that's a weird gun. Like, I don't know.
Weird looking.
It's weird looking. The mechanism for like the barrel lockup is super strange. And they were trying to explain more about it, and I'm like,
because it's
mechanically retarded, so don't waste your breath. But the trigger was nice, but the grip's so wide, I had trouble reaching the magazine release. So I was like,
it's very deep.
I was like, how the fuck do normal people fucking handle this thing?
Well, it's like slightly shorter than a 5.56, isn't it? The 5.7 round.
Yeah, no, it's probably half the size, but it's still.
Oh, it's longer than half the length of a 5.56.
Yeah, probably.
It's gotta be.
I've never put them next to each other, but I also got to play with the P90, so that was cool.
Oh, nice.
But yeah, the 5.7. They said that the 5.7 and this 22X are kind of the same build because they're similar rounds. So yeah, Smith & Wesson likes their little folding carbine thing. I don't I've never handled one. I don't have much interest in one. But.
Oh yeah, the FPC. Oh, that they came out with that in 22. They have one in 9. That the new one is in 22. I did not know that. I thought it was just the 9mm one I was seeing on their website. Interesting. $549. That 22 they've got listed for $500 MSRP.
That's not bad.
The other new gun that they're toting right now is their M&P 15 Axe. It's an AR. It's an AR.
It's another AR.
It's another AR. The only, honestly, the most interesting product they have out right now, I don't know if this is actually new, but I searched and yes, you can buy one, is an M&P grip for an AR-15.
Oh, nice.
They sell them on their website for like $30, $32 for an M&P pistol grip kit for your AR.
Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah.
Because I think the M&P is a comfortable gun, so I don't hate that.
Well, and the biggest thing, like even the regular Magpul pistol grips, like the regular AR pistol grip is a really steep angle. You want to bitch about grip angle. No one bitches about the AR-15 grip angle, but somebody finally did because there's a handful of them out there. Actually, there's probably quite a few. 2 of my rifles have, it's like the K2 Magpul grip. It's just more vertical. It's more like a regular pistol instead of being that extreme 45-degree angle of the traditional AR grip. But like, yeah, why not a M&P pistol grip on an AR? That's genius idea. I would buy one of those in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
I've never seen one in a store, but I'd buy it off their website. For sure. All right. Well, I promised we were going to be short with these 2 episodes this week, and this one's over. Sorry, folks. I'm sick, and I need to go to bed. He's Jeff King. I'm Andy Erickson, and this is Not Another Shooting Show.